Sault Ste. Marie City Council has hired Karen Fields as the city solicitor effective January 7th. Fields will oversee the legal department, including the Provincial Offences Act Division, and will provide legal services and advice on matters associated with the city. Fields will serve as the city's chief legal advisor and provide guidance to City Council, the chief administrative officer, the executive and senior management and staff on diverse legal, administrative, and regulatory proceedings. Most recently from Brantford, Fields' municipal experience includes Provincial Offences Act work in defense and prosecution. She has extensive experience working with regional municipalities and cities regarding employment law and has worked with police services boards, emergency services, transit authorities, and utilities, providing advice and representation. Last night at their meeting, City Council directed city staff to look into how many private retail cannabis stores would be permitted to open in the Soo, further asking staff to research where cannabis retail shops can be located, as well as where cannabis consumption can happen by January 22, 2019. Ward 5 Councillor Matthew Scott noted that according to the Ontario Cannabis website, Prince Township has already opted into cannabis retail. City Council approved the Skating Trails project last night. Councillors heard that $36,000 will be needed for the project annually, $20,000 of which can immediately come from the Special Events Fund. Manager of Recreation and Culture, Virginia McLeod, said that the project has received a substantial donation from Christie Trailer. McLeod added that the committee would still need to request budget money for the 2019 skating trails, though. They will be at the John Rosewell and Clerg Parks and will be 750 meters long on the waterfront. NDP MP Charlie Angus is calling on the Liberal government to create a task force to investigate the deaths of Indigenous teens in Thunder Bay. The body of a missing 17-year-old boy was found on Sunday.
17-year-old Braden Jacob came to Thunder Bay for grief counseling, and now he's dead. And he joins 14-year-old Josiah Beggs and 17-year-old Tammy Kiash and 15-year-old Jordan Wabass and so many other Indigenous youth who died violently in Thunder Bay. And they were victimized after being forced to leave their communities because the government refuses to build proper schools or provide services. So to the Minister for Public Safety, will he commit an RCMP team to work with Indigenous leaders to find out why so many young Indigenous youth are dying in Thunder Bay? No more fallen feathers.
The Honourable Minister of Indigenous Services.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member opposite for raising this solemn issue. Our hearts go out to the family of Braden, and we are grieving with that community. I reached out to the chief today. I also spoke to the Grand Chief of the region to express our condolences. The community where Braden is from, the community of Webequie, is an area where we have made significant investments in mental wellness care. We will continue to make those investments. This is for all Canadians to work together to bring justice and ensure the safety of Indigenous youth.
Finance Minister Bill Morneau says the equalization formula will not be reopened until its renewal in 4 years. The funding program came under fire when Morneau announced which provinces qualified to receive payments from Ottawa. Ontario wasn't on the list.
As the country changes, we'll need to think about whether that approach is working in the way it was intended. But I want to remind us that the way it was intended to work was to ensure that Canadians who move from one province to another can get a roughly equal level of services in different parts of the country. And that is the intention behind that program, whereas the intention behind the stabilization program is to deal with short-term challenges that provinces face in terms of their economy. These two programs are for different intent, and we'll always remain open to talking to provinces about how we can ensure they work.
We've asked for a review, and I don't characterize the renewal that happened in June as a review, and I think the review is important. Again, the Parliamentary Budget Officer is the one who said there should be more money coming to the provinces from the feds.